Hey, it's Peter with Fortify Fitness over here at the Sunset House, and this is just a little orientation video to show you how some of the things in the fitness center work and how you can use them to your advantage. We're going to start with this cable system here.
Okay, so this cable system is the Hoist MI-7 functional trainer. It's got quite a few options. I just want to show you some of the hookups and things that they have available, and then I'll show you some example exercises. So here's your cable hookups here. They operate by this little yellow tab to bring the system up and down. And then you have where your clips go here, and we'll show you what the options are there. There's quite a few options for pull-ups here. Looks like we have a neutral grip, rock climbing style, a little medium, and then even a wide grip. So lots of options there for pull-ups. These bars here, just to let you know, are bars that rotate downwards into the 90-degree position to do body weight dips. And I'll show you an example there. I also have a kind of a cool little thing where they provide a tablet holder. So if you're doing an online training program or something like that, you can put your phone or your tablet in here and it clips into the frame. So pretty cool little tools. Let's check out some videos of some exercises.
Okay, so in terms of actual operation to attach to the cables, primarily here, this little hook, you can see, pulls outwards and then allows your cable system to go up and down so you can adjust your vertical access. The cables themselves rotate almost 180 degrees, so that really gives you a lot of options, and we'll show you how that works. In terms of attaching, you got a typical handle here. I'm just going to take and snap it right into this little groove. And it's hooked in there and it has a safety on it. When it's time to remove, I'll push that down and then slip that one up. Some of the other attachments, by the way, are too large for this particular system, but what they've provided are little adapters. It is important on the rope side that I'm going to use this flat edge, and that's how it fits into this adapter here. Okay, so let's look at the body weight pushing and pulling options. They have, as I mentioned, a bunch of different options for pull-ups here. I don't like the wide position myself. I like a close grip neutral, so they have that option here. So you can grab these guys and go ahead and perform a pull-up. One of the cool things they have with this tool is you can take these handles and rotate them inwards, and this provides a reverse grip in even closer position. And that's a nice little thing, again, if you have some shoulder stuff like I do. So quite a few options, and as I mentioned, a rock climbing handle here, and then we're getting pretty wide as we go to the outside there. On the pushing side of things, they have some body weight dip handles. So these dip handles come down when they're in their vertical or they're stored. When they're down in this position, they're in the use position. Again, you take this little yellow tab, pull it out, rotate it down, and then we're ready. They also have some range of motion adjusters here. I have a wide position and then a relatively narrow position here. And for me, I choose the narrow, so you can go up into your position and perform your body weight dips. Okay, so let's look at some options for chest exercises. So in general, I'm going to take my vertical axis and I'm going to pull this guy down and pretty much align it with about the height of my chest. And then I'm going to use these handles here. So I take this guy. They do have range of motion adjusters. I'm going to use the middle one because it doesn't matter too much on these movements. And we're going to pop that guy right in there. So we got the other side as well. You have your indicators here. I'm currently pointing at 19. So I know over here I need 19. Okay. A chest fly, for instance. I'm going to bring myself, whoops, I need to adjust my weight to make sure they're the same. 20 on this side and 20 on this side. Okay, so for me, I always start my fly with my hands together. I'm going to walk myself out a little bit so I'm resisted. For these cables, it's great because you have to provide the stability. The machine does not do that. So I'll go in a split stance, and then it's easy to open up wide here in the chest press. As I mentioned, these tools here rotate back and forth. So if you have limiteds in your range of motion in your shoulders or in your trunk, these guys are going to allow you to go through the range and perform the exercise safely. So again, flies. I could do a single fly, alternate single fly. Chest press, same kind of thing, but chest press I'm a little closer to the body. Flies are pretty wide. Chest press pretty close. You can see the difference. Flies, I'm in what's called a neutral position with my hands, palms in. For chest press, it's called pronated, palms down, but quite a few options there. The way I like to move these things is move with my hips. So I'll step with my right, press with my right. step with my left, press with my left, or I could cross over, left and right and left. So there's quite a few options. In these functional trainers, what they're trying to get you to do is provide your own stability for the primary movements of the body.
Okay, just wanted to go over this product as well. It's provided by the MI-7, and this is actually a stabilizer pad that you can use if you're doing some heavier movements and need extra stability. So I'm going to show you how you install it right now.
Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is take your dip bars and rotate them down to the horizontal position. There. This guy right here. And as I mentioned before, they do have an inner and outer. We're going to get it on the outer or the wider position in this case. And then you're going to take this guy here. You can see that it has a vertical and a horizontal attachment. So I first want to place the vertical attachment, the horizontal attachment first. I'll slip it onto this black handle, and then the vertical goes there. There is a very slight angle adjustment based on likely height, how tall you are. So for me, I'm going to get myself, right here, so it's approximately mid-back or low back. And I would say one of the primary usages of this tool is so that if you're doing an anterior press motion, or I told you before, you have to provide your own stability. But if it was too heavy, I might need something like this to help me. So I would recommend the longest attachment on my handle so I can get around the tool here. Kind of gotta get out in front of you. But again, it allows you, it almost creates a bench, vertical bench, for you to utilize stability. Okay, so let's look at some pulling motions now. You can see I have my handle set up in the highest position with my uni handles on there. First motion for lats, for back, is I call a swimmer, or a long lever lat motion. So I'm going to pull my hands backwards and kind of perform this swimming action. For lat pull, you can either do standing, this style here, and provide your resistance. You could also, if you have a little heavier weight, you have to have a better anchor. So my anchor is the floor, and then I can pull through on the lat pull that way. If I want to do a horizontal plane row, I need to again adjust my cables here down to, again, about chest height, wherever you had for your chest press. So I'm at number 20 there, and number 20 here. And the rowing motion is a pulling motion, but goes towards the body. So again, quite a few options there on pulling motions as well. Okay, we do also have a long bar option on this tool, and that would attach to both sides. So I'll just make sure that I'm in the same position here. So something like chest press, again, about the same thing, about chest height. I'm at number 20. And we're going to bring this guy down to number 20. And these have the same kind of hooks. We'll click them right in there. Click this guy in there. Okay. So again, for chest press, I have that same kind of action. I have to stabilize, so I'll put myself in a split stance, and here's my horizontal position. I could apply some hip motion with this press as well. And again, trying to use the hips to generate force. For pulling motions, same kind of thing in the horizontal plane. Could provide a horizontal row here in this position. But probably more common is the lat pull. For that one, I'm going to get it all the way up. And typically for a bar like this, it allows you to do heavier weight because it's more stable. So if I was going to do a heavy weight, I probably would go ahead and down. Whoops, we're not quite moving. There we go. I'd go ahead to the floor and then perform my wide lat pull that way. A couple more options with the straight bar as well. Okay, so for things like biceps and triceps, you got a couple tools here. One is a rope and one is a bar. They both attach the same way. I prefer the rope for my biceps and triceps because it's got a little bit more mobility to it. So again, remember for this rope, you need to grab this little flat side here. I'm going to click that guy in there. For triceps, I would just go ahead and go all the way up as high as I can. And tricep extension is typically elbows in, glued to the ribs, shoulders back, and we go through extension this way. For biceps, it's just the exact opposite angle. I'm going to pull this guy out, and we'll bring it all the way down. And for biceps, we're gonna be in this neutral position here. Might back up a little bit so you get the range. Again, elbows glued to the ribs, and we can go through biceps and triceps that way. Okay, for lower body motions, primarily on the cable, it's the movements of the hips. And they do have a tool here for that, this leg strap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the adjuster, the vertical, and take it all the way down, as far as I can. And I'm gonna take this tool here, and you can see there's a round part and a square part. I wanna first wrap it around my ankle, and then I'm gonna take the square part and thread it through the round part to create my anchor. And I go on here, click myself in, and then I'm good to go. So I have movements of the hips are adduction. So I can step this way, I could step this way. I could do flexion, which is going up into a flex position. I could do extension, which ultimately ends up being a reverse lunge. And then I could go out to the side for abduction as well. So quite a few options there. Again, remember, you provide the stability for these movements. So these ends up being kind of a total body option. Okay, so finally we have quite a few options for rotation on these cables. So typically I'll take my, my single handle, and we can go right down the line here. And clip her in. A lot of times these are called wood chop motion. So you have your high-low motion that comes down. You can see hips, shoulders, and trunk all work together. As I drop it down to about chest height, you have your horizontal plane motion. I call this a baseball chop. You can see I typically will step into the chop, again, using my hips and my trunk together. And then you rotate right down to your lower position. And I have the high-low chop. Again, I go high-low, it's about 45 degrees across the body. There's also motions like squat to the row, which is a good combo, or an RDL hinge to the row, which is another good combo. So quite a few combination motions that, again, require you to provide the stability to generate the force.